This is a continuation of task 4A part 1, where we're now looking at the second part where we're going to be setting the data types for each of the tables. So if we have a look at our visitor table, we can see that all the data is in there, but we need to set up the data types. So if we go to Home and select the Design tool, and we'll go into Design View, we can see that Visitor ID is set as a number. It's not been set as an auto number. We don't need it to be an auto number, so don't actually go about doing that. There's an obvious one that needs changing here, and that's date of birth, but that's already set to date time, so that's fine. And then you'll see that the text length, the field size, has been set as 255. Well, that's completely inappropriate. We only really want field lengths that are going to be manageable. What it does, it stores lots of extra data that's not needed, lots of extra blanks, but it also means when you create your forms, you're going to get massive fields and your forms just won't look right. So we'll go through the process. If you follow the actual similar but different instructions, you can see the lengths that it's telling you to change to. Gender, for example, would be changed to 1. Telephone, it says change to 13 because that's how many digits you have in a telephone number. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but when you go to save your table, you'll notice that it says some data might be lost, but that's fine because what it's doing is getting rid of those blank spaces. So that's a visitor table. We've then got our room types. Now if we look at our design view here, okay, number of guests is a number, the rate has been set to currency, so that's good. The description is a short text again, that needs changing. Now if you have a look at the sort of data that's kept in there, you'll notice that description can be single, twin, double, family. So the maximum length of characters is going to be 6, so that's why we'd set that as 6. So we'll go back to our view and it should keep all of that data. You can see all the data still there. And we'll have a look at our room. Okay, so we've got our room ID, our room number. Now our room number's text because we've got some that start with 0, so if we change that field size to 3 because the maximum number of digits in there is 3. Type ID, that is just a number that links to the type in the type table. Now it needs to be the same, it's a long integer. The type ID in the room type table is also long integer. But disabled access, that's going to be changed to a yes/no field. So let's have a look at what that looks like now. Okay, so we go, that's now a yes/no field. We can see the type ID is linking, and these are those 3-digit numbers which aren't really numbers, that's why we're storing them as text. And then finally we've got our reservations. So we have a look at our reservations. These are all IDs, they link to the we're going to be linking to the primary keys in the other tables, so they have to be the same data types. It looks like our dates and our currency have been done for us, so pretty much everything has sorted itself out. Now the only thing you may decide to do here that might be a bit different is you may decide that having reservation ID as a number just holds you back a little bit when it comes to doing one of the tasks later on, and you'll find that if you try and change it to auto number, it won't let you. And what you have to do is, if you want to do that, you'd have to delete the reservation ID row, then you'd have to insert a new row of reservation ID, set it as an auto number, and then because we didn't set the primary, we set the primary keys when we imported the data, we haven't got a primary key now, so we need to set that as a primary key. And that will help you with one of the tasks later where we're adding new reservations. But it's not necessary, it's not essential, but it does help. But you don't want to change any of the others to auto numbers because that data has already been set for you, and we don't need to add any data to those other tables, so auto numbers aren't necessary. So in terms of screenshots, we need a screenshot of all the data types for every single table. So you'll be looking at this area here, and then we need to view that data, and we need to show a screenshot of the whole table. Now if I maximize this, we might just get in all 40 records. There we go, we can just do that there. So you do that for each of the 4 tables, screenshot of the design view and a screenshot of the actual data that's in there, and your design view is what will show evidence of the primary keys.